How you doing? This is John, and welcome to John's Long Box. Today, I thought we'd take a look at the Savage She-Hulk #1 because there's going to be a new Disney Plus Marvel TV show featuring She-Hulk. So I thought I'd get a little jump on giving my viewers a little bit of information about She-Hulk. Maybe you know, maybe you don't know, but that's what it's all about. So this comic came out in 1979. It was 40 cents. Remember, February was the month that you returned the comic for credit, not when it came out. Stan Lee proudly presents the She-Hulk Lives #1 collector's item. So this is Jennifer Walters, and she turns into the She-Hulk. Now, a little bit of information about She-Hulk. The Lou Ferrigno Hulk show was on TV at the time, and rumor has it that they were going to introduce a female version of the Hulk, their own She-Hulk. So if that was the case, then the people who made the TV show owned the rights to She-Hulk, or a female Hulk. So Stan Lee said, "Oh, we got to get the jump on this. Because I want to, Marvel's got to own the female Hulk because it's a derivative of a Marvel character. We can't let other people get it." So they rushed out a She-Hulk comic so they could own the rights. And then either that caused them to not have a female Hulk on the TV show, or it was just a rumor or whatever. But for whatever reason, there never came to be a female Hulk on the TV show. So Stan Lee rushed out She-Hulk as a means to, get the rights to the character. So, I don't know if that meant they had no interest or what have you. But the character, I thought the character was a bad derivative. It wasn't really that good until John Byrne took the character and put her in the Fantastic Four. So then she became a fan favorite, and I've looked forward to this character ever since until just recently when they made her look monstrous, and I don't know, they took away everything that made the character good, in my opinion. But it looks like they're returning back to this version of the more feminine version of She-Hulk that everybody seemed to know and love. But anyway, that's besides the point. So let's take a look at the comic. Here we go. Let's get some guns. I always make a crack out of this, but the 70s, a lot of guns, a lot of weightlifting, a lot of karate stuff. Lot more physical activity if you ask me back then. So let's take a look. This was copyright 1979. When did this actually come out, though? I know it came out. I was hoping it would be. February 1980. Oh, okay, that's interesting. All right. So here's the credits. Created and written by Stan Lee, illustrated by John Buscema and Chick Stone. Talked a lot about Sal Buscema. Yes, my hands. I cut myself at work a lot. I talked a lot about Sal Buscema. They were brothers, John and Sal. John was the more famous brother, and Sal, I always thought, maybe I'm getting them mixed up, but I always thought that Sal was the more, I don't know, I can't think of the word, utilitarian. Like he said, like he kind of like took jobs as a means to make money, whereas I think John was more into comic books. So here we have, this is everybody's favorite Bruce Banner, just trademark purple pants, going, and he's going to visit his cousin Jen. Why? Because I forget if he's on the run, or he's always on the run, or if he needs help, but she's a lawyer, General Walters, attorney. So here she is. She's studious, she's mousy, and that's brought in. It's supposed to be like the dynamic where when she's Jennifer Walters, she's mousy and studious, and when she's the She-Hulk, she's beautiful, vivacious, and outgoing. So that was a purposeful dichotomy. So here she is, the jumping, "Hey, Jen, Bruce, how you doing?" And he's and again, in comic books, not just Marvel, but in DC also, if you're a lawyer, you're every type of lawyer. If you're a scientist, you're every type of scientist. So she's every type of lawyer. Just like Matt Murdock, he'll defend you from the taxes, he'll defend you from crime. So, Jen, I'm a wanted man. The police are after me. The army. Sometimes I think the whole human race. It's not you. What have you done? What have you done? It's not what I've done. What I've become. So now he's telling her the Hulk, and I'm not 100% sure, but I thought the Hulk was like common knowledge that he was Bruce Banner, and you think his cousin would know, but what, maybe memory's playing funny tricks on me, or I don't know. But he's telling the story of how the Hulk became the Hulk. They made the gamma bomb, and Rick Jones just drove out to the testing grounds playing his harmonica like a jerk, and he's like, no, we got to get Rick Jones out of here. So, and of course his lab assistant was really a communist spy, and he hits the button and the bomb goes off. He gets hit by radiation, the gamma radiation, and it turns him into the Hulk. So that, make a long story short, and then this ad drives me crazy. I made fun of it a few times, but now it's just I've always hated it. Try to make light of some things, but I don't know why this ad always gets on my nerves. So he tells her the story. You really mean it? The greens, but how? So I guess, I don't know, either she was in a closet somewhere and didn't know, or maybe his identity wasn't as public as I had thought. So now she's going to draw up some legal defense to get the military off his back, and of course the wants Jen silenced because she's either prosecuting the mob or defending somebody that they don't want him to defend. So just like all comic book coincidences, while she's visiting her brother, the mob show up and they shoot her right in the back. Jen. He goes, okay, finish her off. Trask said to make sure. So they come in to make sure, and you get shooshed in the face by Bruce. And he runs away. I'm surprised he didn't turn into the Hulk. You think seeing your cousin getting shot in front of you would Hulk you out. But he gets in the house. They tried to kill her and they're getting away, but I've got to stay calm. Only Banner can help her, not the Hulk. We've seen these ads before. Giant Susan Anton. I've mentioned these names before, but she was a model, and she was very tall and very beautiful, and she was married to the very ugly and very short Dudley Moore, who in the first Arthur movie. There's Chachi, Wah Wah Wah, Giant Scott Baio. This is James McNichols, who is Christy McNichols' brother, and nobody cares about you, James. I don't care about you, James. And that's Kitten. Everybody loves the Kitten. And Kathy Bauman, I don't know who that is. That's Robbie Benson. He's a dreamy heartthrob. And that's Tattoo, Hervé Villachev from Fantasy Island. He doesn't have his name. He just has his character's name. That's Dirk Benedict. That's Starbuck from Battlestar Galactica and the A-Team. Ice Castles, I don't know their real names, but that's the people from Ice Castles. There's more Scott Baio because he's also dreamy. And that's Whiskers, the cat. I don't know. And that's Farrah Fawcett. Everybody knows Farrah Fawcett. She was married to Lee Majors. She was Charlie's Angels. And Kawasaki mini bikes. These were all the rage when I was a kid. I had a Honda mini bike, and we just whip around the street, get chased by cops. It was a lot of fun. So now where is he driving? He's taking her someplace. I think he's taking her home. Smashes in the house because he doesn't have her keys. And again, he's a scientist. Scientist is a doctorate, so therefore he's a doctor. And since he's a doctor, he's every type of doctor. He's an engineer who designs radiation bombs for the government, but he's also a medical doctor. So here he is, because it's comic book science, and he's giving her a blood transfusion. Because I didn't see him remove the bullet from her spine, but all she needed was a blood transfusion, and she's magically healed. And we got Get Your Comics in Style. What do we got here? Frazetta calendars and stuff like that. And model kits. I tried models for a while. It was okay. So now he calls the ambulance, and I guess they're going to do the spinal surgery on her. I guess he was just keeping her alive with blood. She lost blood. So now, what are you doing here? Why are you here? Don't leave town. Because they grill me when they learn who I am. I can't let that happen. I can't. And then the police returned, and look at that. What happened to our suspect? Early the next day. So he's talking about that she lives. She's expected to live. I'm going to get out of here. I don't need to complicate her life. And she's like, what happened to my cousin? What happened to my cousin? And then we got Star Wars toys. This was the Death Star. It was like a wedge. And I remember having this well, I didn't have it. My friend Sean had this, and we would play this at his house all the time. And this was my favorite part. It was like a little trash compactor. It was stuffed with little pieces of like styrofoam and squishy, styrofoam. And then there was a little swap monster toy. I just loved that, and it was the only way to get that trash monster toy was to get this. That was fun. These are all the things that were on it. You could put them on top and stuff like that. This was an Imperial Troop transporter. I've never even seen this in real life, so I can't say anything about it. And these were some of the toys. I remember this, the Walrus Man. I think I had every single one of these. Yeah, I had every single one of these. I loved all these Star Wars toys. And for some reason, I remember I called him Nightcrawler for a while. I don't know why. I've never seen this in real life. I've never seen that in real life. One of my friends had this, and another friend had that, and we'd play all the time. And these were the original 12. I had every single one of these. And then I had like a plastic backdrop. I remember you sent away for it, and you got like a coupon that they'll give it to you once it's made. So you actually sent away for a toy that didn't exist yet. So here, all the doctors are coming in, but they're not the doctors. These are the actual hitmen. So what's going on? You're not the doctors. So here they're chloroforming her, and they're going to hold her down. Look at that. That's pretty scary, actually. And she freaks out. No! And here she is, all jumped up. So it's really funny, because this has been scientifically proven that if you're a male, the way your male chromosomes interact with fat fibers, your shirt gets destroyed, but your pants stretch. If you're a female, the way your chromosomes react with fibers is your pants get destroyed, but your shirt stays on. It's science, so it cannot be argued with. So here she is. Now let me end up. Although she was fueled by rage, she didn't lose her intelligence the way her cousin did. And, that must be because she didn't have the direct radiation surging through her body. So she's not as powerful as her cousin. But the thing is, she retains more of her intelligence, and okay, so the Hulk starts out at say this strength, and then as he gets angrier, his strength goes up like a thermometer. So She-Hulk, Jennifer Walters, will start out at here. So at the beginning of the transformation, she's actually stronger than Bruce. But then she never exceeds this. Whereas Bruce will start out here, and as he fights and gets angrier, he will exceed. So she like I said, she starts out stronger and retains her intelligence. So she's actually a badass. Is the Mighty Marvel money-saving holiday offer. And I've talked a few times about this ROM. This house ad actually became the first page of the ROM comic, and here it is. Sal Buscema's doing the art. So this, in the comic that I'm showcasing right now, it's John Buscema, and then this comic is Sal Buscema. And I got to admit, it wasn't until I was an adult that I separated them two. I don't know why. I just saw the name Buscema, and that Sal and John, the names just kind of merged. I've always had a problem with names, and they became one person to me because I'm a dummy. So here he is, he's shooting at her, and notice that there's backgrounds over here, but there's really no backgrounds over here, and I don't notice them. I'm just looking now because I'm not really reading the comic. I'm not caught up in the story. I'm just talking about the comic. So no backgrounds, and I don't know, you don't really need them, but I would prefer the backgrounds because that's that. You called me She-Hulk, and a She-Hulk I'll be. So I'm getting out of here. Let's Splitsville, running down the hallway. This is all I need. I'll buy this. This is a hospital. That hospitals aren't like filled with details, stuff like that. That works for me. This is actually a pretty cool panel. I love this panel. Just look at that. I don't know. I think he did a good job. These look like feminine hands, but they also look very powerful. I think he did a good job just ripping this elevator door. And this panel, that is just phenomenal. That I would love that as a piece of art hanging out on the wall. That I don't know. It's simple. It's just such a cool panel. And here she is pulling the elevator back up. This is cool too. That's why I like Marvel. They had an eye for talent. Here she's coming down. I like the perspective on this. She's just looking down at them. Shows you how trapped they are. It shows her like a predator coming down, ready to attack, and they're getting out of there like the Three Stooges. Run! We still got a chance. Here's some more Rom. Here's some ads over here. Rom, I'm sure you're tired of me talking about it, but it was a pretty good comic. Look, I'll get them all, chasing them down, just knocking them around like nothing, like. I just imagine like she's flailing about like a wild person, because let's face it, little timid Jen Walters probably wasn't a fighter. Do you think she's ever been in a fight in her life? Maybe, but odds are she probably got clobbered if she was in a fight. So she's got strength, but I'm sure she's got no finesse at this point. And they always showed her training, strength training and skill training. So I would believe that Jennifer Walters in either form would be a formidable fighter. I'm talking skill wise. Yeah, look at this. She throws that, and it just takes out all four tires. Sking! Look at all the tires, the hubcaps flying around. Pulls them out of the car. The murder that Trask himself committed. Right, I'll swear. So here she is intimidating a witness. Luckily, they don't know that she's a lawyer. Come on out, little man. You got some talking to do. Please don't hurt me. It was Trask. He paid us to kill the Walters dame. He was afraid he framed Monkton for murder. The murder that Trask himself committed? Yeah, right, I swear it. So there she goes. She intimidates a witness. You heard that. They're all yours. Come back. You want me? You catch me. Wait, there's no law against having green skin. My anger's fading, and so is my strength. Must get back fast. Here's the Bolton Bulletins. This is Stan's soapbox. This is like his editorial that he put in every month in Marvel Comics. And this is exactly the kind of thing that I didn't read as a kid. I only started reading them as an adult when I was rereading my old comics. Bye, Stan, I miss you, I get teary-eyed when I think of Stan, because he was controversial. A lot of people have some problems with him, but you know what? I was a kid, and I just enjoyed the product, and he was a good guy as far as I was concerned. The world's a better place because of him and Jack and all these people that, for hokey or not reasons, I consider them friends. So Mr. Fantastic and a passion for gold. And I've seen this ad, so I already knew that Mr. Fantastic gave Twinkies, because Twinkies are perfection and fruit pies are of the devil. Little did people know that fruit pies were made by Lucifer to destroy humanity, whereas Twinkies were made by Angel Gabriel to make humans better and ascend into a higher plane. And Reed Richards, being the smartest man in the world, knew that. So here's Jen going back. She's shrinking. I like the way her hair gets longer and her hair shrinks, and she's back in Jen. And it's good that the fabric, because like I said, the female chromosomes mix with the fabric and the radiation, and the stretch that becomes skin tight on a huge bosom shrinks down back to her, form fitting, and everything's fine. You see, when she gets into bed, she's clothes are fine, and that's science. So don't argue with me. It's science. Wouldn't it be cool if nurses still dressed like that? I don't know. That's just cool. And here she is. How wrong it is. The blood transfusion must have changed me. I've become a gamma-rape monster like poor Doc. That was her nickname for Bruce, was Doc. I'll learn to live with it. From now on, whenever Jennifer Walters can handle, She-Hulk will do. So, and here's an ad for Epic. Epic was their magazine that was like a direct competition with Heavy Metal. I've never got it as a kid because that kind of stuff didn't interest me, but I've showcased it before. I got like a full run of Epic. I still haven't read them yet. Here's some ads. Turn skinny girls into sexy chicks. Soupy cars mean fun for the pocket. This kind of stuff always thrilled me as a kid when I saw DC characters in a Marvel comic. But these were like superhero cars from Corgi. Okay, so these were like Matchbox type of cars. I had this as a kid. I loved that. I used to play with that all the time. I also had the Batcopter. But I would have loved. I think I had this too. Or maybe one of my friends did. But I would have loved. What's the Shazam mobile? How freaking cool is that? That is awesome. But I would have loved these. I wonder. We should look them up on eBay. See if I can find them. And then this Lego. We've seen this ad a million times. So let's talk a little bit about about She-Hulk herself. So She-Hulk, it became this comic series went on for like 25 issues or so. I got them all, and I got to say they were kind of forgettable. They were C grade. It's good. I like it. You know, if you really like the character, or if you're completist, I would say get the series. But if you're just a casual comic book reader, you could skip it, and it's not gonna, you know, no great shakes. Like I said, it's like C grade. But the character itself was also C grade. But she joined the Avengers for a while, and they started to give her a personality. But it wasn't until John Byrne, who I've talked about a million times, really he liked this character. He always liked strong female characters. He definitely built up the Invisible Woman, who, well, let's face it, she was, personality-wise, I'm talking. Personality-wise, she was the least developed of the Fantastic Four. And John Byrne rightfully explained that she was the most powerful, and he made her a likable character with a personality of her own. And then he did the same thing with She-Hulk. And he made her flirty, he made her vivacious, he made her sexy, and he also made it that Jennifer Walters loved being the She-Hulk. And from there, I think Peter David, he kind of came up with Peter David wrote the Hulk for a long time, like over a decade, I think. And he kind of made it that the gamma radiation unleashed parts of your personality. And Bruce, being that he was abused as a child, and he was wimpy, and he was angry at the world, the way he was treated growing up. So when he became the Hulk, he was this manifestation of rage and striking back at the world. And also, I think he kind of implied that Bruce had like a little, like maybe borderline schizophrenia or something like that. So that's how you could explain like the Gray Hulk and Mr. Fix-It Hulk and the regular Green Hulk, you know, depending upon like how bad his mental condition was at the time of the transformation, which I think was kind of a brilliant way of explaining the inconsistencies of the Hulk. Now, Jennifer Walters was this demure, meek, milquetoast, studious girl who longed to be tall and beautiful and object of desire and strong. So when she got the radiation, when she got the gamma blood, this is what she turned into. And She-Hulk became, especially under John Byrne, more beautiful. And you know, she was sexy, and she was fun, and she was flirty. And, you know, she enjoyed her romances with men. You know, Wyatt Wingfoot, Hercules. I'm trying to remember. I think even Matt Murdock at one point. And there was I think Doc Samson. These were like notable romances that she had. And then when she had her own series, she was hired by the leader, another person who was gamma irradiated, and she basically got him off on crimes because they're saying you're basically not of sound mind when you're gamma transformed. So like they were basically saying, you know, are you promiscuous? She's like, no, but She-Hulk is, you know, but Jennifer Walters, no. So when you transform, couldn't you say that you're not of sound mind? Can't you say that you're under the influence of almost like a drug? Like, is Bruce Banner responsible for Hulk's rages? So I like the way that they took, you know, John Byrne and Dan Slott. They kind of built on well, John Byrne came up with the seed. Peter David germinated the seed. Dan Slott made it, you know, a full-grown, whatever you want to call it, fleshed idea. And I just really like that concept, and it just opens up a lot more storytelling potential with gamma irradiated characters like the leader and She-Hulk and the Abomination and stuff like that. It's just so cool. And you know, so that's one of the things I like. I always consider like a comic book character is like Legos. You start out with this little square block, and then another writer comes and sticks his square block on top of it, maybe a different color, blah blah blah, and then over the time with different writers, so you have this big creation that is still the same character, but it's made up of building blocks by different people and different teams and different times and different viewpoints, but yet it's still the same thing. I think that's cool. So there you go. I guess I'm done talking about She-Hulk. Probably talked more about She-Hulk right now than I've ever talked about this character in my life. Oh, and at one point, I forget exactly what happened, but she was exposed to like a bunch of radiation, And she lost the ability to transform back into Jennifer Walters, so she had to stay She-Hulk forever, and it didn't bother her. And I forget what happened that she can turn back into Jennifer Walters. I must have missed that, or I haven't. I don't remember. But I remember that in the Fantastic Four, she lost the ability to, and she was just like, well, so, and Reed Richards is breaking the news to her. And she says, well, Reed, when are you going to get to the bad news? She took it in stride. So that's She-Hulk. A character that I admit I wasn't too fond of. I thought the comic was fine. The comic was, but she grew on me. There are no bad characters. There's just bad writing. And this was a character that Stan Lee just said, quick, throw out a comic book, assemble a team, let's write a comic, because we want to jump on this character before the TV show makes this character. So not created with the best of intentions, not created with creativity and desire for a cool character. So it was rushed, and I'm not saying it was a bad character, but she became a character that I really enjoy. Okay, now I'm rambling, so I'll stop here. But thank you for checking me out. I appreciate it. Please, spread the word. My sub count is just dead flat, and I don't know what else to do. I don't know how to promote. I just know I'm just a guy who likes comics, so I just keep doing videos every day. Maybe someday it'll catch on. Who knows? But it's still fun to do. But thanks a lot. I really do appreciate that. Whoever you are that takes the time to watch my videos. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.